you doing? You may recognize me from such films such as Fisk Demo, Fisk Footings. No, is this not funny? Seems like a Simpsons thing. Right? You with me? Hey guys, I'm Jason. I'm a Los Angeles contractor and developer, and this is Buy, Build, Sell. If you are not a fan already, it's because you haven't watched the other videos. Go back, go check them out, subscribe, like, press that bell button. It lets you know that I'm uploading another one. We try to do about 2 videos a week, so there's a lot to watch. Today we are in the Valley. We are finally back at home base for me, and we are on a project called Bluebell. It's a very special project. It's for a client, so we're doing a client build for you guys today. This project is 13,000 square feet, 0.3 acres to be exact. We obviously missed the demo on this one. It was a 1,800 square foot house with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That went down pretty quick. We're now in the grading process. I'll show you what we're doing today, how we kind of mark out the plans, read the plans, get to know what we're doing. What we're building here, we are going to be building. So again, this is a 13,000 square foot lot. We are building a 6,200 square foot home here. That's pretty big, and it's gonna be amazing. Again, what we're doing today, first we're gonna be marking out the house location. So we're gonna be spraying exactly where we're gonna be digging. Then we're gonna be doing our excavation, our R&R, our remove and recompaction. And obviously, you know, we've already done a video on this. You can go look at that on the Radcliffe project. But this one's different. And I'll tell you why it's different. This is called a voluntary R&R, meaning the city is not requiring us to do this. By not being required to do it, I'm kind of a little bit more lax on how we execute it. Still gets executed the same. There are still soil requirements as to how we execute it, but I'm not like surveying the lot beforehand to make sure that I'm getting the exact corners. I'm okay if, you know, we go 4 feet instead of 3 feet out. We're gonna be going 4 feet down and 3 feet out. Just remember, okay? So this one's a little bit deeper than we normally go. Usually we just go 3 feet out, 3 feet down, 3 feet out. This one's gonna be 4 feet down, 3 feet out. It still gets observed by a soils engineer. It still gets submitted to the city as a report, but it's not required to be seen by the city. All we need to do is submit the report for it. And that will also just help us with our slab, our footings, and all that stuff. So here we go. The first thing you're gonna see is all of the spraying that we've done along the property. We're basically marking out the footprint of the house. Now, obviously, normally we get a surveyor to come, give us our points, and then we put string lines and we mark it out like that. This is different. Today, we are marking it out ourselves. We're using boundaries to give us a rough marking spot. And we're gonna over X so we make sure that we get all of this compaction that we need done. That's about it. First day on the job and the plans are already getting dirty. Look at this. It's ridiculous. All right. So the first thing we're gonna be checking is the first floor layout. So we can make sure that where we're digging and cutting, that we're cutting in the right spots and checking the right locations. Like I said, this house is gonna be a 6,200 square foot house. 6,251. That's pretty big for a 2-story house, no basement. It's also just nice to remind yourself what you're building so you can kind of get re-familiarized with the plan. So that way once this is done, the foundation guys show up, you really have a clear indication of what you were doing here and what the expectation is for all of this stuff. If you just show up the day of, you might seem a little foolish, right? The biggest thing that I'm concerned about on this project as of right now is that we got a permit to backfill the old pool, and because I wasn't aware of the project beforehand, I actually don't know where the old pool was. So the process of doing the new pool is going to be a little bit more difficult. Just so I need to like do some more research, ask a few people as to where it's going to be, where it was, and then when I excavate for that new pool, there might be some surprises that I don't know about. So kind of being aware of that and being thoughtful about it is the most important thing for me. There he is. You don't look ready to work.
How are you?
Good. How are you? One thing. Never be smarter than the people you pay. I'm gonna tell David what I just did with the guys. He's here now. He's gonna make sure that what I did was correct and inform me if I'm wrong, because I'm no genius, okay? This is that corner right there. She is right here. Right? That's what I'm saying. Cut around it. And instead of going like, just kind of stick to 25 mark and we should be fine. Where do you see that? Oh yeah. Front wall from total, right?
Right?
Oh, this is 2 feet. Oh, it is 2 feet. It is 2 feet. This is 25. This is going to be 27. So if this ended up being from here to here is 27, the footing mark.
So we just follow this one then.
The problem is that when you follow this one, you're going to be at 22. Help me. We live on.
This guy.
Like literally, that's 25 right here.
Wait. Nope.
Did you get that? That's your 25 marker for most of the house. So you're gonna push this back 1, 2, 3. That's 22. But on this side right here, this cut, it's okay. You're gonna go 1, 2. So you'll be like here.
Yeah,
Even if we're right on 25, we're on the footing. You know?
Okay, perfect.
Why do you do this to yourself? One for the señora, one for... So right now we're doing the R&R on this house, and what we're trying to make sure is that we don't damage the existing tree. We're trying to keep this tree if we can. So by keeping the tree, we are we have to kind of compromise the grading a little bit. Now remember, there's a 3-foot overset. So I'm trying to use that 3-foot overset and kind of fudge it a little bit, and instead go 1 foot over instead of 3 feet, to hopefully compensate for keeping the tree and making sure that our footings are still in compacted soil. We'll see how that ends up going once we kind of start digging up this location. We'll really understand how much damage we may cause to the roots or what might happen. The tree may have to go, but as you know, I'm a big fan of keeping what I can keep. We'll see. So on big lots like this, a lot of the times you have to cut it in half. So we're probably gonna be pulling out the first 4 feet on one half of the property, pulling that over to the other side, then recompacting, pushing that dirt down, and then doing the other side. So it's a 2 bottoms is what we call it. Let me show you what the homeowner did before I even got here. Sometimes temporary fencing can be not an expensive item on the list, but it's an item. So what they decided to do before I even got here, this is an aluminum post with Trex material as the lap siding here. And it looks pretty good. I mean, it's a very nice fence. Overall, it looks really good. And we got our first cut of dirt. We're excited, as I've talked about before in posts on my Instagram, which you can find right here. Watching this stuff is like me being a kid. You know, again, like I'm showing up at a job site, watching these big machines work. I feel like a kid again. Right now, we actually have a neighbor's kid watching these machines. And every time I see a kid stopping at a job site, it kind of brings me back to that feeling. Forget about understanding what's actually happening. Just watching what's happening is really fun. What we're currently doing, as you can see, we are watering down the dirt. Story time. So most of you know I'm a contractor and a developer. I've been doing this for about 11 years now. One of the things I started when I started working for the developer that I got my experience from, I was just supposed to be on site. So I would do anything and everything I could to help the project move forward. Sometimes that was being the guy that sprayed the water on the dust. And every now and again, and this is how I actually know how to drive machinery, I would get onto the machinery and actually do the work, because one guy didn't show up. He was drunk on Sunday, didn't show up for Monday, this guy, that guy. So I would take over for the first few hours until, you know, somebody else would show up and start up and take over. Breeding definitely has some memories here for me. This is really a city required thing. Also just an obvious nice thing to do. Keep the dirt from flying up, getting out of the air, and causing a big mess for the neighbors. You don't want to get that call from a neighbor saying, hey, my house is all muddy and dirty, can you come and wash it? We just try to avoid that kind of stuff. Air quality in general is a big concern for a lot of people, and we try to make sure that we're mitigating as much of that as possible as not being an issue. Normally I leave the set of plans on site in the porta potty, but we don't have one on site yet. That comes in about 2 days. I'm probably just gonna keep it on me. I was thinking about leaving it here though. The reason I keep it in a porta potty is because it's the safest place to keep it. It won't get wet in there. You know, no one can steal it. No one's gonna think that it's in there, or there's like places you can tuck them in where they stay. There's not one here yet though, so I'm not gonna put it in.